Hello, hello. Hey, Ronnie. Okay. So I'm not going to hold up, and let me give a warning. I do have a filter on, but there's a reason. I look like death, and the filter takes away everything. So, I thought we would go ahead and I'll give it a few seconds, only because I'm late, so that's actually my fault. There's a lot more I needed to grab, and I'm at a slow snail pace today. Hello, Gina. It's not one, I promise. It's a herbal blend of cold brew, and it helps my stomach. But we're gonna go ahead and talk about Miss Lilith today. Well, I say Miss because she's not married technically. But we're not gonna elaborate like forever on it because Lilith breaks down in so many different ways. And a lot of people always seem to forget that. They either look at one side of her or they look at the opposite side of her. They don't look at the in-betweens. And they don't really get her because they either think one side or another. It's kind of like how everyone thinks it's, black or white kind of magic, where there's always that gray and in-between and balance and stuff like that. But I will tell you a little bit of my experience with Lilith and how I've come to work with her, and I'll give you a little bit of, don't mind me, I have my computer on too. I could show you one of my favorite books that I found a lot of knowledge and useful information to start with. It has guided meditations, it has step-by-step process. It really just gives you a lot, but it's not for the faint of heart. So let me give this little warning now. Some of the things I'm going to mention might have sexual content in them. Some might speak of blood. Some things might be a little sensitive if you have little children around and you're watching this. I'm sorry, but you're warned now. So you might want to just pause me and watch me a little later, however you want to do it. But I will try and be as simple as I can, but I want to be blunt because she is blunt, therefore her working is blunt. Okay, so one of the biggest thing is Lilith's name itself is actually coming from one of the Babylonian words, which is Litu. And I know I probably pronounced that wrong, but it's Litu. And then there's another word, another culture technically, that pronounces Lilai. And it technically means spirit, okay? So a lot of people are like, oh, she's a demon, she's a demon. Listen, she's really not. She's actually, if you look at the 5 points of a pentagram, she is the spirit part, okay? She doesn't hone to a single element. Now, some will be like, oh, she's more airy, or she's more fire. You're both right. You're not wrong. But, hey, Zoe. But technically, it's spirit, okay? But if you wanted to base them off the 4 elements only, then technically air would be the closest thing to spirit, so I would go with air. If you want to look at her demonic side, I would go with fire. So again, it all depends on how you depict her. Some people want to say, hey, she's earth. Okay, she lives in the underworld. That's under the earth. Go for it. Okay? Water, maybe if you're using her in a healing sense, but self-empowerment, maybe I can see water, but not so much. But again, that's my personal preference, and everything I say today is going to be how I learn, how I see, how I base, okay? All right, so let me give you some little breakdown history-wise, all right? So Hebrew sources claim that she is a demon or a hag witch, or a night hag, night hag, they call her. Her name is very symbolic with a demonic monster. Biggest thing here, okay? Or something of a screeching owl, okay? That is another reason why owls are so sacred to Lilith. Another real reason why we named Witches Owl Exchange is because owls are extremely sacred to so many feminine deities. It fit being a blend, you know? In medieval Jewish lore, Lilith is Adam's first wife, okay? If you know the story, and I'm not going to go deep into it because this is just lore stuff and this is stuff that you guys can look on your own, but all in all is she didn't want to conform to having to pretty much do what Adam says, lay beneath Adam in a missionary position. It's not her, okay? She and Adam were born from the same ground, okay? The same earth created. It wasn't until Eve was created out of Adam's rib, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. We're gonna go with that. Because my brain's having a brain fart. It's the cold mitts. So yeah, so she didn't want to. So then she was then made into possibly being the snake in the Garden of Eden. Garden of Eden. Okay. She was then represented as the apple that Eve ate from. Okay. There's so many different things. They say, you know, she was never really gone. She was never technically banished by God. She was not technically sent down. There's both truth to that. That's why another one of Lilith's symbols is the snake. Another symbol is the apple, an orchard. So no one's wrong, okay? So keep that all in mind. I believe it as she just refused to bow down. Feminine power. Hand in hand, simple. Another big reason why a lot of witches, spiritualists like to work with her is because she does represent something so strong, okay? She's one of the most feminine, powerful feminine features that we have to be able to utilize in our arsenal when we need to, okay? Okay, so going up more on that lore there. So when she refused, she was technically shamed, okay? She was then accused of mating with an archangel, all right, then kicked out of the Garden of Eden forever. Again, that's lore. I think of it more of a, she didn't mate until after with an archangel. Personal preference. And she never left the garden itself because she was the snake and she did bribe and she did want to show that Eve was not everything God made her out to be, that she had her flaws as well as Lilith. So I do think that technically she was the snake. Personal preference. Okay? So in now goddess terms, because like I said, I wasn't staying too much onto that, but in goddess terms, she is a very powerful goddess, okay? She's a very demanding goddess. She is not of the weak of heart, and she's not of the faint of heart either. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, even if you only use her as a feminine power, you know, strength, I could do this on my own, I don't need a man to do it, kind of, you know, symbolism, symbol, goddess, deity, it's not always that simple, okay? She picks and chooses who she wants to work with. She gives you signs. She gives you hints, okay? They're not subtle. She likes tests. And she does run with other deities. She's not a lone ranger, so to say, okay? She is one of 5 gatekeepers, okay? Those gatekeepers are also not for the faint of heart, okay? So, this is not going to look on her as the feminine power. I'll give you a little bit of that, but I'm telling you right now, I don't work with her like that. I work with her as the goddess of the night. I work with her as a dark goddess, okay? Just give you a heads up before I go too much further, I should say, okay? I saw that. Oh, and we're going to do a meditation, just so you know. You know how we did for Avalon to see if you can connect with her? The meditation, same thing, just so you know. But I promise I'll set something up so that way you're not staring at this. Maybe I'll have you stare, ooh, at the pretty flame that I have here for when we make her incense blend. Maybe we'll do that. Have you stare at the flame if that's cool. I'll put this back over here. Okay, so there are many sides to her, all right? Some see her as a bird-footed woman, which goes hand in hand with the statue that I actually symbolize with her. Some people call her a harpy, but they call her bird-footed woman, and that's mostly Babylonian, okay? So if you know me a little bit, you know that I work Babylonian style. She is seen as the hand of, ooh, can I say this right? Ianna? I-N-A-N-N-A, Ianna. She's also seen as mysterious, dangerous, but she's seen as motherly. That's why a lot of people call her the Dark Mother. I do not call her the Dark Mother, but that is my personal preference, and she and I have this understanding because I have a different Dark Mother. I technically have 2 Dark Mothers. I can't have a third. It just feels weird. But she's a sister to me instead. And I mean like a big older sister telling me what to do, calling me all types of names. One of those kind of dark sisters, if that makes a little bit of sense. But she's very motherly. She's very protective, okay? And she is a leader of all feminine movements. I will say that hand in hand. So you will say that. She is neither light nor dark, okay? She is the day and the night. She is the life and the death. She is the darkness and the light. And she is the rage and she is the love. Does she have a symbol? Ooh, yes, darling. Here, let me show you. I should probably take this off. Be a little bit easier to see. She sure does. I hope it shows you the right way. If not, I can flip it around. I can do that way. I don't know if that helps. Let me see if I flip it this way. It might show you the right way. Oh, there you go. It shows a little bit better. That is her symbol right there. Okay? That's Lilith's symbol. And technically, in most of her, see, it's not on the necklace, but on her actual symbol, it'll actually spell out her name on 5 points. Okay? Hence, she's the 5. She's one of 5. Okay? But yes, that is her symbol. She has a few other like symbols. If you look at Zodiac, yeah, like the dark moon symbol, that's also her symbol. If you look at Zodiac, or if you look at your birth chart, there's an actual Lilith on your Zodiac that'll tell you things about like the darker sides of you. That's also representing of her too. That has its own symbol there too. So yeah, there's a couple of different symbols, but this is her main one. This is her go-to. I don't like it that low down. Okay, so Lilith has also been painted as the queen or mother of all vampires or the mother of all demons. All right, now let me tell you a little bit on that. So even in movies and TV, she's kind of painted that way. So if you watch any of her movies that there's a Lilith involved, Supernatural is a big one. Very old school movies that have like Lucifer in it too. Actually, the TV show Lucifer has Lilith in it. Actually has Eve in it as well. It kind of, you know, they give you and they portray her as such a demonic force, and it's kind of sickening. They do portray her mostly in that motherly form, but she's very harsh, she's very stern, she's very like, I don't think so, we're not doing it this way. They use her as, you know, a demonic witch too. I mean, there's so many different ways they portray her. Vampire, they do, it's there, you just have to find those kind. So let me just tell you some ways you could work with her. Okay, this is the stuff I know you really want. So the way you want to work with her is to remember that she is very ancient and that she's very powerful, okay? Do not reach her if you're not serious with working with her, if you begin to reach out to her and then back up, like, you're like, man, I don't think I'm ready. She doesn't forget that things. It's kind of like working with the dragons. They never forget, okay? She is picky, and she is very picky on who she'll aid, too. So if you're trying to get back at a scorned lover because he didn't answer your phone calls because you had one date, and you're mad, don't call on her. If you're calling on her to get back at an abusive husband who's been beating you for the last 10 years, call on her. You see the difference? It has to be for the extremes to call on something like her, okay? Read as much as you can. This is ways to work, like find out, you know, you can work with her or she'll work with you, is read as much Jewish and Babylonian as you can find. Set up an altar space for her. Red and black colors, her favorite, all right? She loves candles, but she loves anointed candles, okay? So scents. Not too many herbs on them, though. She loves, let's see if I can remember this off my head. Nope, not gonna remember it top of my head. Yeah, I am, because I have a bunch of hair. So, bloodstone, one of her favorites. Why? Because it has blood in it. Another big thing with Lilith is she loves blood offerings. Told you it was rated R. She loves blood offerings, okay? Sex magic is a huge thing with her, which I'm gonna get into that in a little bit here. But bloodstones, which you can't really see them, but here's my, couple pieces of my bloodstone. So bloodstones are one of her favorites. Garnet, however you want to depict it. Any really dark, bloodish red stones, she loves. She loves amber because it's fire. Straight fire, okay? And this is one of my amber pieces here. Septarian. Here's just a little raw piece of it. She loves that too. She loves black stones. Remember, her favorite colors are red and black, so she likes black stones. Onyx, black tourmaline, black jade, black, or just jet black. She's not a red jasper person, so I will say that. A lot of people think because that's a red stone that it's her favorite. That one is actually not, because it's not dark enough for her. Let me see if I forgot any of those. This computer hates me so much. No. Karma down. Don't make me have Dragon chase you again. You didn't like it the last time. Okay, let's see. Sorry, guys. Just trying to make sure you get all your information. So, obsidian, amethyst is another one of hers. Clear quartz, moonstone is another. I already said that. Said that. Lapradite, which I have a big, massive amount, which I'm surprised I forgot about that. But yeah, so there is some, okay? Then you can look at plants or herbs, all right? All poisonous herbs. Easiest way, belladonna, deadly nightshade, hemlock, mugwort. And then you can look at sandalwood, you can look at roses, dry roses, lavender, she loves too. She loves cinnamon. Trying to see what else. Apples. True apples she's in love with, okay? So dried apples and anything, you got her. Sage. She likes sage. Yeah. Mostly deadly poisonous herbs are one of her favorite, and that we all know that's a long list. She loves the darker stuff. The stuff that can leave you in a fog or just take away at night. Some of her actual symbols aside from this is is the dark moon or a crescent moon, okay? She loves mirrors. She loves poppy flowers. Owls, snakes, bones, lions, goats, because she sacrifices them. She loves fruit trees. Ooh, so if you know what a ring and a rod means, that's another thing too. She likes a ring and a rod, and it symbolizes ancient power. I don't know what it means, but I'm gonna have to go find out. But it was one of the things that I was like, ooh, maybe some people know what this means, but a ring and a rod. Okay. She loves the smells of cinnamon, anything burning, like in a fire, ash. She loves bonfire scents of things. Throwing lavender in a bonfire, that scent of a blend, it's one of her favorites, guys. Apples and the smell of, like, what do you call it? Apple pies. So it's like desserts in a way, like very fruity desserts. Okay, so they're great for offerings too. Wink, wink, nod, nod. She's like a sweet tooth in a way. Okay. Tools that you can use for her. So she loves scrying mirrors or scrying balls, black balls, not clear, not red, but black. She loves tarot and oracles, and she loves automatic writing. So with a quill, I thought that was pretty interesting because I love to write so much, and that was one of the things that we connected with on so many levels. And she loves feathers, any type of feather. She's not picky really. I just keep them dark. Some people say that if you find a feather in your path, it's a sign from her. Some say that if you're walking at night and you hear an owl screeching, it's a message to you. So look around, you know, keep listening. Maybe something else will come into it. She goes by so many names. It's really hard to even go through them all, but you know, like Great Mother, Hand of Ishtar, Primordial Serpent, End of All Flesh, Alien Woman, which I thought was hilarious, Night Demon, Screeching Owl, Northern Woman, Harlot, Matron Mother, Matron Lilith, the First Eve. I mean, just so many, you know, some even call her by her original name in Babylonian, you know, Lilith. Some people call her that. I don't know why some people depict her a little bit as Kali, but she's not like Kali, but they have. Her season is autumn. Her time is midnight. Her day is Friday and Wednesday. I've heard both. I honestly more depict her with the Fridays, not so much with the Wednesdays. Oh, her holy days, if you're into the Sabbaths, are Astra, Lithika, Mabon, and Yule, which is really funny because I can't stand Yule. I know, I'm so a bad person. I'm sorry, guys. And her directions, depending on how you look at it, it's mostly north, but she also follows east if you're following the air. Yes. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything on that one. No. Okay. All right, so let's get back to this part. Okay, so continuing with ways, you can have a statue for her when you set up your altar. You can have mirrors. Like I said, she loves mirrors. I have a small mirror on hers. No, you're good, Kath. Deadly plants you can have on there as offerings, all that. Incense. She loves incense. You could have dogs on your altar. She likes dragons because if you work with her in the draconic magic or the draconic realm of things, she works hand in hand with dragons. It's all part of, you know, the Temple of Ascending Flame. When it comes to Lucifer, Balal, Asmodeus, her, okay? So like I said, they're, you know, the 5 gateways, okay, of the realms or of the underworld, as some people say. Mirror scrying, she loves loves, which we already said that. If you look into the mirror, you will be possessed by Lilith's spirit, is so they say. Of course, there comes chants, there comes spells with that. It doesn't just come, but it's all that stuff. If you want to look at her where she uses air and not spirit, if you just want to look at the 4 mains, she does, if you do any type of air magic, she's very strong into that. She has wild energy. You make your own incense blend, which we're going to do for here, so we're going to help represent from that. Any type of storm magic, cloud scrying from smoke incense is a great one too, which if you've seen my Samhain live, you'll see that I did post some pictures of some scrying from smoke from an incense, which was really cool. And it kind of went hand in hand with her. Wow, my hair's a mess. I just got out of the shower. Sorry. She loves tattoos. That was another thing I totally forgot. She does love tattoos. She loves symbols of tattoos. She doesn't love just like you putting her all over her, you know, putting her face on you. She likes the little symbols of things. You know what I mean? Like, she likes the symbolism. One of my not next ones exactly, but one of my symbols I'm going to be putting on is her symbol with a few others, because it's time. Moon magic is really good. Dark moon magic, of course, new moon magic or crescent moon magic, any type of, if you find out, like, okay, any type of, like, finding what your spirit guide is and stuff, if you find out that you, oh no, I'm froze. I don't think so. It doesn't say I am. Am I still froze? Oh wait. I take a drink. Am I still froze? It says I got full bars. Okay. All right. So, if you work, like, if you're trying to figure out what your animal's guide or animal spirit is or anything like that, owls, if you find out that you have an owl as your spirit guide, you might have a connection to Lilith. She likes to frequently manifest as a great owl. So she's kind of a little bit like Morgan in a way. She's like, here I go again. Can't use my brain. She likes to do a lot of transformation. There we go. Into a great owl. It is a white-ish owl with just very minimal brown around the neck. But she's pretty much all white, kind of like a snow owl, but she has a little bit where they consider it that she was charred going into the flames of the underworld, which is really cool. Some offerings, aside from like the things she likes, but offerings, okay? She likes lilies. She likes frankincense and dragon's blood. She loves water and she loves wine. Now, I only put this in a wine glass just to say it's wine, even though I told you it's not. But she loves wine. So wine, red wine. Not white, not blueberry, red. Like red. The kind sometimes I can't handle because I'm like, oh, it's gonna give me a headache in about 3 seconds. Oh, there it is. One of those. She loves tea. Hence, I will show you a tea blend that I made last season, that is probably my hottest sellers ever, is my Lilith Orchard, but I'll show you that. Any type of aphrodisiacs, sex, dancing, but sexual dancing, not just I'm gonna get on the dance floor, I mean like actual sexual dancing, lap dances pretty much. And cat's dog hair, dragon scales, not skulls, owls, snakes, and spiders. So if you have a snake skin, like, you know, the kind that they shed and stuff, if you find it, save it. It's really good to offer. If you find a dead spider, or you had to kill a dead spider, which, I'm sorry, I'm not putting a dead spider or any type of spider on my altar. Sorry, Lilith, but she knows the rules. She keeps throwing those things in my house, and I keep freaking out, and I can't stand it. But spiders are really good too, if you don't mind them. I'll put them in a jar or something, and give it as an offering. If you clip your dog or cat's toenails or something, keep the clippings, give give those to her. You don't, I'm not saying you have to sacrifice any animals or anything, but, you know, use stuff that they have, you know? All right, so sex magic is the next thing. You can find a way to connect with her. My dog's sleeping, snoring. It's funny. Any type of intensely lustful nature of sex magic. And I mean, you set up the mood. You already put the incantation in there. You already brewed the potion, and he or you already drank it. You already have the candle lit. The incense has been going. It's dark. You're maybe having sex into the new moon, okay? Anything that is real, actual sex magic, not the fake kind that you're like, okay, I'm gonna pretend like I'm having sex magic right now. No, I mean like hardcore, you already prepped for this, like a ritual kind of thing. The guy doesn't even have to know what's going on. It doesn't matter. Or the female doesn't have to know what's going on. Doesn't matter, okay? Utilize that. All right, that's real sex magic, okay? Learn to manifest your desires and sexual encounters, personal and with a person, okay? So if you're into sex magic and that's one of your things, maybe call upon her. Look into her connection with sex magic. So the daughters of Lilith, okay? Let me explain this. I'm gonna read it because it's gonna confuse you. So, you know, I say mother, you know, dark mother, but I call her sister. Okay, listen. In her demon form, she is said to lead a horde of spirits called the daughters of Lilith. Study this group of spirits and consider calling yourself a daughter of Lilith. Here's the thing that's tricky. So they say that she leads a horde of spirits that are called the daughters of Lilith. Some say that the daughters of Lilith are witches. So some say, I'm a daughter of Lilith. When they mean that, they mean her, Lilith in her demonic form, leading them as if she is a commander and you are a soldier, okay? But being a daughter of Lilith, from all my research and how the Temple of Ascending Flame depicts her, is they are witches. But they don't get reincarnated as anything other than being another daughter of Lilith. Like you don't lose that title even in death. Hence the spirit form comes after, if that helps a little bit. So if you're interested in knowing more about that, look into the daughters of Lilith, okay? We already went over the astrology markers. Well, okay, so an asteroid is another symbol for her. So if we have an asteroid passing Earth, you know, you just happen to think of Lilith at the time, maybe that's a symbol, okay? I'm trying to think. Okay, when you do any type of rituals, because a lot of people want to go, all right, let me do a ritual, this is how I'm going to connect with her. I don't recommend you invoking her until you've gotten to really know her intimately. And I mean, you've done maybe some astral projection travel to her realm, or maybe you are projecting yourself into a realm and she happened to be there. Do guided meditations. There are some really nice ones on YouTube. I thought it was really good. A couple of them. I think I watched one earlier today just to see, like, are they still depicting her as this? But there's this one, it was really wicked and it was really dark, but it really hit the spot. And I was like, okay, I was like, this is actually really good. I was like, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell our members that, you know, there are some on there. I've only used maybe like 2, but that's because most of my stuff comes from the books or it comes from my coven now, okay? So I don't go outside YouTube now as far as that goes, but I do focus through books that I'm asked to purchase and read, and then hand invocations and meditations that are given to me by the temple themselves. Sorry, not bump my camera. Develop a relationship with her. Okay, it's a big thing. Let me turn this on. I'm going to read something to you. It's not the meditation, I promise. Shannon, oh, girl, don't even worry. Listen, I've been on death's door, it feels like. I can't even function too much past like 2 hours at a time. So I feel you, I promise. So no worries. Watch when you can, okay? So one of her mantras, I want you to read and I want you to hear it, okay? I am whole unto myself. I accept all rejected parts of myself. I embrace my shadow. I embrace my device. I embrace my dark and erotic nature. I embrace my fullest power and only share it with those I deem worthy. Okay? I'll read it one more time, just because I thought it was really powerful. So close your eyes. Do me a solid, and I promise I'll read it quick. I am whole unto myself. I accept all rejected parts of myself. I embrace my shadow. I embrace my device. I embrace my dark and erotic nature. I embrace my fullest parts and only share it with those I deem worthy. Okay? Thought that was pretty. Okay, one last thing before we get into any type of meditation, because remember, we promised to keep this quick, and I want to work on our little incense here too. Here are some few ideas for witchcraft spells and magic involving Lilith and simply to work with Lilith, okay? So these are some things that other people have done to work with her. So you can work with her to improve sexual relationships, to create balance in relationships, extreme measures, healing sexual traumas, asserting independence in women and in women's rights, fighting patriarch, oppression, sexism on women, boosting self-confidence, to gain respect and recognition for contributes, exploring and awakening your sexual nature, especially if experiencing low limbo. We already said sex magic. Healing and managing menstrual issues or working with menstrual magic. Menstrual blood, by the way, is probably the best way to get blood offering to her. Unless you feel comfortable with actually cutting yourself, which, rated R here, guys. Not everyone likes to cut themselves, but something that happens very natural for females, you can utilize that blood, and that is more than sufficient. And actually, it's more powerful than anything, because it is naturally from the female body. Working with the feminine shadow self of healing feminine shadow issues. Reclaiming your personal power and strength in your voice. Holding and managing menopausal symptoms or wanting to heal them. And working on reproductive issues, especially with PMS, PMDD, or other hormonal mood swing problems. Bloodroot can be used in place of blood. Yes and no. Be careful with bloodroot because it has very different properties than what blood is required for dark goddesses' blood anointing, if that makes sense. Did I say that right? Yeah. Yeah, I said it right. But yes, it can be used if it requires just like blood, but if the blood has to be symbolic as an anointing, I wouldn't recommend using bloodroot itself. I would actually recommend using dragon's blood resin instead. Yeah. And with like a little bit of water to make it like gummy in a way. That actually gives off more powerful than the bloodroot does. I did research on that because I thought the same thing because I have a bunch of bloodroot that I just got in. But yeah, you're right. It is if you just need it for, you know, to just something to substitute as blood. But if you need it like an anointing, a symbol or something, yeah. Yeah, I actually had to research that one because I never had bloodroot that way. And like I said, it's very powerful, don't get me wrong, but you just have to watch the properties of that versus which you actually need the blood for itself. That's all. But you're right. All right, so we talked about all that. Okay, so let's make this blend, shall we? Oh yeah, she likes chocolate and pomegranates too. Now I know technically Persephone is pomegranates, but it's a fruit, so yeah, it works too. And then this is a little clause that even my temple gives. So I put it here so I didn't forget to read it to you, but I want everyone to hear this, okay, before we finish. But not everyone will connect with all or any of the dark goddesses, and most dark goddesses will make themselves known and call upon the ones that they have chosen. When you feel the call of a goddess or dark goddess, it may be difficult to ignore their presence and energy. Learn about the goddesses through connecting through meditation or divination to gain messages and insight into how you can work with the goddesses. Don't assume that you can always work with every goddess because not every human is comfortable around each other. It is the same for the goddesses. Energy should always match energy. Do not resist, they are persistent. Ain't that the dang truth? You hit the fan at work. Poop. Oh. Shit, hit the fan at work. I was like, poop. Oh. Fog brain. It's okay. I promise. We're actually going to make our incense blend. You just missed the information part, so you can always rewatch it. We're going to make the incense blend now. And I'm going to do this quick meditation, which you shall love, because it's powerful. And this is actually was blessed to me from some very powerful people. And I asked if I can utilize this, and I am allowed to. It is the first step of connection, if you so choose, to see if you have a connection. Like we did with Avalon, this is the same thing. But let's make something. I want to make something. I miss making something, don't you guys? Okay, so. Bowl. I'm going to move my phone. Actually, I'm going to move my... Can I move the thing? Yes, I can. Ah! No, don't do that to me. Hey! This thing hates me. Okay, there we go. And down. You see? I can see. We should lower it a little bit more. There we go. Oh! Stop it! This thing hates me. Okay, just stay there and look pretty already, will you? Jeez. Oh, thank you. That actually was given to me by Tumar. So I'm gonna turn the light on so we can actually see. Okay. All right, so real quick, this is the book that I recommend to anyone that wants to get to know Lilith a little bit more, okay? It's a fantastic book. It is an amazing read. Of course, it comes from the temple that I am initiating within, but it has some amazing information, okay? They give you depictions of her. I've read many books, okay? I've gotten the Kindle editions first to see if I even like it, because I will not purchase something I don't want. Talk about tools. different days that you can work on stuff with her. Just a lot of stuff, okay? Just, it's crazy. You know, see, like I said, it goes hand in hand with dragons, but I promise this book is all about Lilith and her past. See, I have notes everywhere. But yeah, so this book is really good, guys, if you want to do that. So let me just move those out of my way. I don't want to burn anything. Alright, so bowl. You're going to need mortal pestle. You're going to need lavender. Mugwort. Rosebuds. Doesn't matter which color, guys. I'll tell you that right now. It does not matter at all which color. My finger itches. And then one thing real quick before we get going, I just wanted to show you this. I made initially as an offering for Lilith, and it turned into be one of my favorite tea blends. So, it's a green tea. It has apples, hibiscus, and Ronnie, these hibiscus are the hibiscus you got me, by the way. I finally dried the second bag. And it has a couple extra special ingredients here that I don't want to tell because that's my secret. But this is one of my best sellers. So make a blend and stick with it, you know? Like, this is something I do put on her altar a lot. You know, I got dry apples in here. I got cinnamon in here. I got a good blend of stuff in here. And she absolutely loves it. It's like a sweet and bitter taste. That's why she likes it so much. So that is my Lilith's Orchard tea. Love that. All right, so what you're also going to need too, besides this, because obviously you're going to want to burn this, my laptop's in my way, is you're going to want a charcoal tablet. I have a half of one because I only burn half, and I will open the window when I'm about to burn it. And then, of course, you need something to put your charcoal, so you need something to hold your incense, loose leaf incense, and burn it out of, okay? So I have a cast iron little pan that I absolutely adore because it's so big and I can put pretty much crystals in it. There's sand in the bottom of that. That's why I have it that way. So what we're going to do is I want you to take your mugwort first because we only are going to use just a little bit of this, okay? Nope, don't hibernate on me. So I will take literally a finger pinch, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break the mugwort apart because mine is like chunky a little. This way. Can you guys see it better? So yeah, mine's like a little chunky. So I want to spread it apart because when I burn it, I'm not burning much mugwort because we already know this stuff is powerful. And remember, when you're burning mugwort, have your window open for ventilation because one, it will put you in a lucid dream state, especially even if you drink it, but it will also make you sick. So we don't want that. Well, Ronnie, get a hold of me after, girl. I got you. It's on my page, which I have yet to actually, like, get going. But my Dragon Tea page. Lavender. Now, I like to use my fingers, so that's what I'm going to do. And I promise this is my personal, this isn't any things I use out of my teas. But I'm going to take a pinch of lavender. I'm going to sprinkle it around, okay? Because I love the smell of lavender. So I'm taking 3 pinches worth of lavender. Why? Because what does lavender do, guys? Lavender puts us in that what state? That very just comfort, sleepy state. Now, roses. Love these things, so you will see me use extra. So I have my myrtle and pestle. I'm going to take 3 little ones for now. And then I'm going to crush them, okay? So I'm sorry if you don't like the sound of grinding. to crush them where it's not too fine, but it's not going to clump together. Now, if you're using a mortar and pestle, you know that it takes time, right? But I don't like powdery incense all the time. I like to burn the actual herb. So like if just me doing this, you can see, well, you probably couldn't, but there's, the roses are just coming straight off of it too. And it's perfect. So this is just me going around a few times with it. It broke up. So I'm going to put it in our little bowl. Okay. And then I'm going to kind of blend the mugwort together with the lavender. Okay. Now we're just making a little blend here. But you can make as much as you want. Maybe you want to make a little bigger blend for down the road. You know, a couple offerings worth. Maybe every day you want to light a little bit for her. Which, by the way, she would love that. Maybe share a glass of wine with her. Okay. Now, I think we need a little bit more roses. And, yeah, a little bit more roses. So I would repeat. Now, the reason why I only chose these three is one, they're one of her favorite things, okay? But I did want to use apples to burn, but the apples that I use are a little bit different. They are sourced to be completely dry, and I would need my actual like grinder to cut them down. It's kind of like apple peel and lemon peel. They're really hard, and I'd be sitting here for probably a good couple hours to turn that that I want to. So I figured that if you want to get even like trickier, you can add a little bit of cinnamon to this. But yeah, she loves that too. I love using my mortar and pestle. I love stirring stuff. I love the way it feels. See? That's actually perfect. Put that in. And see, it's all in my... One thing about roses I love is it just seeps and stays. Sometimes you gotta give your pestle just a little bit. And then, like I said, I like to blend. We might add a little bit more lavender. I'm always a go big or go home. I always make more than I probably should. A little bit lavender extra. Just because lavender is amazing. Okay, so that is just a little bit of a loose leaf incense blend for Lilith, okay? A little bit of mugwort. I didn't change that ratio because, well, that's dangerous. Especially with my kids coming home. I don't want to be passed out on the ground. But a little bit of rosebuds. It doesn't matter. I have pink ones today, so you can say it's for self-love. This is just my normal offering of saying thank you for being here and looking out for me. Okay, roses for thanks, pretty much. And then lavender to help the house calm, help the underworld be calm today. So anything, Sarah Lee said, would the cinnamon be for the fire element? Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Yes, cinnamon is 100% a fire element type. Yeah, definitely. You can add that if you want to add maybe one for every. So if you want to look at the 5, since technically she is a gateway keeper and there's 5 of them, you can think of her as being mugwort. So spirit is mugwort. Lavender can be, what is lavender? Is that air or water? Is lavender water? I think lavender is water. We're just going to say, no. I think it's air. So lavender, air. Roses, water. You can find one for the earth element. And then you can use cinnamon. You know what I mean? Like, you can find the herbs that she resonates with. And then, you know, if you just wanted this as an offering, maybe? I thought it was air. That's what I thought. That's why I changed it. I was like, I think it's air. Because I know roses are definitely water and earth, but I always resonate roses with water because I always think of roses on top of water. I have no idea. I know you people are like, no, those are lotuses, and I understand that, but I always resonate with this like that. So yeah, okay, so lavender. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. See, I kind of know what I'm talking about, right? Just a wee bit. So like, yeah, so mugwort spirit, you know, maybe if you take apples, you can have apples as being, maybe I should turn so you can actually see my face. Maybe apples you're going to have as being your earth. Anything like that. You can have all 5, and that might be really cool. Oh, there you go, Kat. I did my mini live on lavender. See, I totally forgot. Or, no, I didn't. Maybe that's how I remembered it. That might have been the reason I actually remembered it, woman. Was because you did the live. Okay. So yeah, so you have this little bit here, right? And then, you would go ahead. Don't mind my fat arms. And then I have, this is sand. I like the sand. And this is already from other experiments of stuff. And then, you know, you can use a little holder. I don't. I'm the stupid one because I like fire that much that I'm like, yeah, let's hold the charcoal tablet myself. Because I'm a genius. But I also like fire and I like to be stupid, so. There we go. Come here, baby. And then one big thing with charcoal tablets is you gotta make sure it's really on fire and let it burn up some. So you might have to light it a few times. But when it turns red, that's what you want. Make my letters start to burn out a little bit. But like, can you hear that? Oh, decided to stop sizzling. And then you would literally just take just a little bit. Oh, don't worry, I will. I didn't put the thing on there yet. But you're gonna take just literally a little bit, okay? So I'm gonna let that get a little hot. And let me open my window. I'm gonna have you point up and I want you looking at my butt. Now I sound like a girl cat. Don't look at my butt. So I'm going to take just a little from our blend. Make sure I have a little bit of mugwort, not a big chunk. A little bit of everything. And literally put it on. Get a little bit more lavender here. And you don't need much, just a little bit. But you can see our beautiful creation. And this is, you know, this is powerful. This is for her. So it didn't take much. It wasn't expensive. Can you smell it? Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so glad. I was really hoping someone would say, I can smell it. Like, it's beautiful, guys. Like, absolutely beautiful. And then if you really want to get, like, if you want to be that, you know, that kind, take your crystals, guys. Line them. Line them in the sand, right? Help charge it for her. Okay? You could even have like incense, like the tall stick ones too. There you go. It's like, there you are. So I hope you guys like that. It was something very simple, something you can just do, you know, pretty easy. I'm gonna move this over because I could already smell that beautiful mugwort. God, that's so filling. And one thing, if you're using cast iron, please make sure you have something underneath that cast iron because it could get hot. Hot, hot, hot to the touch. And then, now, so what we're going to do, I thought you were being a little bit of a punk. I didn't light my charcoal away. There we go. We're going to do a small meditation, okay? So, I'm going to shut the light off. I'm going to switch you to my handheld one. And you guys are going to start a flame. Because you like staring at flames. Okay, I'm switching the camera. Uh-oh, come here. That's better. There we go. Ronnie says, yes, I'm burning goddess incense as well. Yay! Love it. Love it. So let me just pull our music that we need. Shut my light off. So I want everyone to close your eyes for me. Take a few deep breaths. Okay. So find a comfortable seat. Close your eyes. With each exhale, start to feel any stress, worries, anxieties just melt away. As you begin to settle into the present, start to visualize yourself in a desert. It's desolate, and there's nothing around you except for a cave in front of you. Begin to settle into the present. You begin to walk towards it. Notice sensations like the sun on your back and the fire glowing more intensely in your belly as you get closer and closer to the cave. As you approach the cave, you notice a glowing inside of it. You have to crouch down to crawl into the cave. But once you get inside, it opens so you can stand. Inside is a cauldron burning with a fire, and you can instantly feel an intense passion erupting from you as you gaze into the orange, blue, and violet flame. You feel a presence near you as you turn to your side. You see a female figure. She is draped in layers of red fabric and plenty of jewels. And her hair looks as if it's been made of fire and black night. She is Lilith. She looks at you with a glee in her eye, and you instantly feel a pull back to the flame in front of you. Lilith begins to tell you of her story, what it means for her to belong to herself, to be defiant and vengeful. She shares with you how her sacred flame lets her release and destroy what she no longer needs. How this represents her sexuality, her power, and her strength. She'll now ask you to connect with the aspects of yourself that you have been afraid of, the powers you've been ignoring. Let her speak. Lilith now asks you to stop playing small, and she urges you to throw anything you no longer need into the fire. Lilith takes off one piece of her jewelry and hands it to you as a talisman, and you take it in your hand. Look at it. Notice the color, the shape, the weight, and the energy. She instructs you to infuse this with what you want to let go of, asking you to hold it into your hand and send it its intention. When you're ready, Lilith instructs you to throw it into the fire. As you do so, the talisman starts to spark, and the flame turns a deep blue. You now feel a deep sense of release, like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. But the flames keep dancing, higher and higher, and it's transforming. And you hear a howl come out of Lilith as she starts to sway and dance around the fire. She grabs your hands, and you start to dance around the fire, as if you've been dancing for a millennia. Allow yourself to continue to release whatever it is you need to let go of. Dance with the wild and feral goddess as you let yourself into your own raw power more and more. You dance until you feel the cycle complete. At which point Lilith takes off another amulet. This time, it's a beautiful red stone on a golden chain. And she places it around your neck. She whispers something in your ear. And then she just disappears into the darkness of the cave. At this point, you're breathing deep after the dance, and the fire has begun to die down. And you now know it is your time to leave as well. Even though she is gone into the darkness of the cave, thank her. and the wild woman in you. Feel the weight of the necklace and know this is your connection to her, to this place, and into your true self. As you crouch under the mouth of the cave to leave, you utter another thank you and walk back into the desert. You continue walking and walking and walking until you start to feel back into your body. Slowly you'll begin to return back to the present and start to feel back into the room you're in. As you wake up, you feel Lilith's gift around your neck, and you will remember you can always return to the desert and the cave whenever you need. Kept hitting the flash button. I meant to hit the flip button. Well, how did everyone do? If you did get it done today, if you weren't able to do it because you're at work, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. But if you did do it, how did you feel? Or after, when you do it, tell me how you felt. What did you see? What was the necklace? What did yours look like? I can tell you what mine looks like, but that would be cheating. And I want to hear what you guys say first, because I don't want my to rub off on yours. But I can tell you about the grooves. I can tell you how it wasn't technically all red. I can tell you about the heat. I remember, Gina. I know you're still at work, hun. But I want to hear. So what do you guys think? What else do you guys want to know about Lilith? I don't need no notes. I have everything I needed to say, so I didn't forget it. But what do you guys want? What do you guys want to know more about her? She's very big into astral projection to connect with her. Some depict her with horns. She's very pretty, but she can be very ugly. Sarah Lee says, I wasn't able to do the whole experience with the herbs, but I did have a candle lit at my desk and it felt amazing. Yay! I'm glad. Now remember, not everyone, just like Avalon, we did Avalon, not everyone's going to connect. And that's fine. It's understandable. And I don't expect anyone to be able to connect like that, but if you did, I hope you had something from that. But on this note, I know I've taken up more time, and we did promise that lives would be a lot shorter, and I do apologize, and that's on my error. That's only because I did so many runes last month. I just wanted to do one live this month. Just one. Because I need a break. I need to get my energy back up and feeling better in myself. Kathy said, oh, first of all, what did you say before? Kathy said, you should do guided meditations on YouTube. I love listening to your voice as you guide us. Oh, shit. Thanks, Kat. That makes me feel really good. I never really thought I had a voice for something like that. I always thought my voice was very deep and, weird. But thanks, I like that. I like doing guided meditations. I like to read them a few times, especially if I'm not familiar with it. This one I'm familiar with because I've done this one a few times. So it was a lot better of a flow for me. I wasn't able to meditate, but as I listened to you and envisioned everything, I felt so warm, like I felt like the sun beating down on from the desert heat. And her necklace, I saw a dark red ruby in the shape of a teardrop on a golden chain. Ooh, that's pretty. Yes. Yes. And when you do, and if you do choose to meditate, later on, see if it changes. That's always the thing. I've heard from a couple of my new coven members that it likes to change in form. From being inside the cave, it's one, but when other people see it, it's another. I've also heard of other people actually finding that exact replica in the physical realm that they found, say, in an auction or something, but they actually found it like to the T. And it wasn't just something they envisioned, say, over a month ago, but they actually found it. And of course they bought it because that's the necklace. Like, it was meant, they envisioned that exact necklace that is actually real. That's Lilith's sign. So if you could actually find something that you envisioned, I suggest purchasing it or getting it, or maybe someone could gift it to you or something. But that is a key connection phase. Like, that's powerful. Like, it's rare. Ronnie says, I loved it. Kathy says, you have a soothing voice. I don't like the peppy, uppy voice. Yeah, I know, me either. I don't do high pitches. Ronnie says, my necklace is a square turned sideways on a black chain. Ooh, ruby red. Yes. Sarah Lee, responding to what Kathy said, it's so true. You're always so calming, and it helps to really envision. Oh, yes. I accomplished my mission today. Yes. Okay. Ladies, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I'm going to relax a little bit before the boys get here, and I'm going to get dinner started soon. But if you guys need to know anything about Lilith, like I said, the book I gave you, it's fantastic. You don't always have to listen to what everyone else says. Find guided meditations. There's so many books on her. If you don't like her from the dark goddess aspect, look at her from a glam aspect, a feminine aspect. Honestly, that book that's solely on her is one of my favorite. I have about 7 other books with her, but it's blended with other deities like Baal and Lucifer and Asmodeus, Samuel. So that's why I didn't want to show you those ones, because I didn't want you to get the others mixed in with her. But that is a great book, honestly, if you want to look at her as a dark feminine deity. Okay. Guy says, you really inspire me to want to dive in her. Yes. And by the way, you need to talk to your woman, Akate Heket, because she was in a dream, and it's not nice of her to spook me in my dreams. So I don't know what her issue is or what her message is, but she had a nice little visit to me the other night. I don't know if it was because I was sick. So I don't know if I was hallucinating, because I was hot, cold. I had a huge fever. Something's going on with her. So I don't know if I need to tell you something, but something's going on with your girl, Kathy. Just give you a heads up. So he says, thank you, Crystal. That was fantastic. I'll be doing some research on her. Please do. She's fantastic. Like, absolutely fantastic. And maybe down the road I'll do Tiamat, which was the other one I was going to do, but we're trying to keep the lives a little shorter because we had so much on October. But I believe Sarah's doing Morgan, hopefully. So that's another one of my favorites. So, okay, I'm going to go. I talked enough. I love you all. I hope you guys had fun. I'm sorry if it was very laid back, but that's why we did a little incense blend, which is still lighting. I wish you could see it. Like I said, make a tea blend like mine. I mean, this, I literally, this is the last of my last batch. I gotta make some more. This is a few ounces here, but yeah. My little Christmas jar I found at the dollar store because I needed another one. But have fun. I love you guys. Have fun with her, but research her and trying to talk to her. She's there. Love you. Bye.